Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Luke, and you're watching Luke the Gathering. Thanks for checking out the channel. I really appreciate that you're here. Today was the last day of the Lost Caverns of Ixalan at our store, or my local game store, and man, this format has been an interesting one for me. I can't say that I was a huge fan of this format, but maybe it just has to do with the fact that I just don't feel like I did very well in this format in arena, nor did I do well in paper drafting. A lot of 1 and 3 or 1 and 2 finishes for me this time around, and same thing today. I went 1 and 2 with just one win in the 3 rounds, although every round went to 3 games. Probably the most, or actually say the most quality games I played actually happened today, which was the last day of Ixalan draft at the store. Next week it's going to be cool. We're going to have a brand new type of pack with the play booster, no more draft boosters and set boosters, and so I think that'll be exciting. Although we are just going to be opening up some pre-release kits, so it's not draft, it's going to be sealed, which is always fun, and checking out a new set will be pretty cool to do. So I guess I'm pretty happy to say goodbye to Ixalan, although I wish this last week I could have done better. I ran up against some really good opponents, players that I really respect, and honestly, it's not intimidating, but I always feel like when I play certain players, especially players that you know are really good, I don't know, they just always have some sort of edge against you, and I always have sort of this negative feeling that I'm already down in the hole when I have to play them, and that happened this week. But yeah, some really great players that I had to play against, and I did lose to some of them, obviously, and it happens. But the cool thing was the deck that I played this week was Dinosaurs, which Dinosaurs is kind of a big archetype in Ixalan. Maybe not the strongest type. A lot of sort of the people on the internet were talking about blue-white, blue-red being really strong, the Jeskai colors. But Dinosaurs could really hold their own as sort of a tier, a little bit past tier 1 deck, maybe tier 2-ish, right in between 1 and 2 in terms of that angle. So the only sort of bad thing that happened was someone else was drafting a Dinosaur deck, red-green, and they took 2 of the gold cards, the red-green Dinosaur that like lets you pay 2 to sort of use it as a removal spell. That card would have come in really handy. That particular drafter took both of them, and so I didn't have that card in the deck, which made me really sad. But I had to be in red-green because my pack one pick one was a banger card and was amazing for me in this whole tournament. And for my efforts, I did get a couple packs of Midnight Hunt, which will open up at the end just to see what we get. So let's turn the camera around and talk about the deck. Alright, well, first I'm going to say this is the deck's last iteration, so I did sideboard some cards in here. This was not, I guess, the normal play deck, but when I de-sleeved, these were the cards that were there. We did have an Natali's Favor, a really cool card. I love, especially in Dinosaurs decks, that this gives not just +1/+1, but the enchanted creature also has trample, because with the dinosaurs, they're typically larger. To get that damage through, you need trample. Plus, when this thing comes into the battlefield, you're going to discover 3, which is great, just to get more value from the card, such as this. Really nice. I love this one. Triumphant Chomp, really good removal spell. It's only sorcery speed, but it can either do 2 damage for 1 red mana, or whatever dinosaur, the largest, attack, greatest power among dinosaurs you control, it does that much damage. So if you have 7/7 on the field, this does 7 damage for 1 red mana. Granted, at sorcery speed, but very powerful removal. One of my favorites in red. Saheeli's Lattice is really cool. It's nice you get to discard to draw 2 cards. That's fun. And then you can craft it with 1 or more dinosaurs for 4 in a red. And when that happens, you get a star for Mastercraft Raptor. or its power is equal to the total power of the Ixalan cards used to craft it. So even if you had like a 5/3 dinosaur in the graveyard, you could use that to craft it. This would be a 5/4 dinosaur. Or if you use two of them, let's say a 3/3 dinosaur and a 5/3 dinosaur, you'd have an 8/4 dinosaur, which is pretty cool. So really useful card all around. I really like this one. Over the Edge, so these are in there. I put two of them and I sideboarded them in because I was playing against a heavy artifact deck in that final round. So I had a couple of these. I like this card because, especially in this set, there are a lot of artifacts, some enchantments, and this is just a nice protection against it. And if not, you can always use this card to explore twice, which can be really useful. Staggering Size is just great to push damage through. Usually, Staggering Size comes in a little bit more handily than it did for me today. So, not the best card in my deck, for sure. I usually love this card. We have a Braid. A Braid is just a no-brainer. Deals 3 damage to any target at instant speed or destroy an artifact at instant speed. I wish I had more of these, that's for sure. Quatli's Final Strike, great card as well. Just these fight spells are great. It gives +1. It's not a fight, it's a bite spell. So it's not like the creature that's using this card takes any toughness damage. Just a really good one, and just use it carefully, especially if their mana has been depleted. They can't do any tricks against you. Idol of Deep King. This came in handy a couple times. In fact, this could have actually won me the entire game if I had somehow top decked it, because I got one of my opponents down to 2. And if I had, sometimes you do top deck an amazing card, and I would have actually and I had the mana to spend. If I could do that for this card, I would have won the game. But it's just a nice little removal spell, and then it becomes like a pretty good artifact equipment that gives +2/+0. Volatile Wanderglyph is nice. It's a nice little 2-drop. I need 2-drops in this deck just for the early blocks or a little bit of interaction early on. This is nice too because whenever it taps, you can discard a card, and if you do, you get to draw a card. So pretty versatile. I had 2 Burning Sun Cavalries in the deck. This works well with dinosaurs, obviously, but I didn't have any of the cheap dinosaurs in this deck. Now that I realize it, like the Signpost dinosaur. I didn't have like the Belligerent Yearling that costs 2 or anything like that. I didn't even have the 3-drop. So these actually I didn't think were that great in the deck. Malamet Brawler. I mean, I like that this thing gives trample to something else, but it's otherwise just a 2/2. Mineshaft Spider is so key to this deck. I love it. It's 3/4. It's reach. A lot of the flyers in blue-white or white-red or whatever, they can't get through this. It's so good. And to have 2 of them, it's just annoying for the opponent. So this is a really great little pickup. Pathfinding Axedraw is just a beast as well. It can turn to a 5/4 when it comes in if it explores and doesn't hit a land. It just becomes a 5/4 for 4 mana. And this thing is, I think, opponents don't like to see this on the battlefield. Poison Dart Frog was amazing for me. I ended up getting 2 of them. They helped me ramp the mana up, especially I had some really large spells. I use Poison Dart Frog a lot as a mana dork. And then, again, it can reach and have Death Touch, which makes your opponent just not want to attack into you, especially if you have 2 mana open and they have some big creatures that can't evade this, which nothing can evade as reach. So it's so cool. Here's one of the rares I got, the Magmatic Galleon. This is kind of cool. It's a crew 2, 5/5, but the cool thing is when it ETBs, you get to deal 5 damage to target creature. So, that's nice. 5 damage. It does cost 5 mana in total, but I mean, you leave behind a 5/5 vehicle, which can be pretty strong. Colossal Dactyl is so great. Reach and trample, 4/5. This really stops a lot of the opponent's little air things. So I had a lot of reach, and my opponents didn't really like that. Cavern Stomper, I think it's just such a good card in the dinosaur deck. Being able to not get blocked by creatures power of 2 or less, that kind of prevents a lot of gang blocking. Being able to scry is just so good. I love this card so much. Opponents had to deal with this a lot. This card I had in a little bit, and I took it out. It's an 8-drop. I mean, it's really hard to get out. But once it does come out, it's a huge problem. Vigilance, Trample, Haste, and then whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you can reveal that many cards from the top of the library. So if you did like 3 combat damage, you can reveal 3. And if there are dinosaurs there, you just put them on the battlefield. Crazy. And it's 7/6 Vigilance, Haste, and Trample. This card actually did get out onto the battlefield a number of times when I had it in the deck. The Poison Dart Frog actually was the thing that provided the white for me. And those also ramped me into this. Otherwise, I would have never been able to play it. Really cool card. Tough for the opponent to deal with once it actually did come out. And my pack 1 pick 1 was this cool full art of Polani's Hatcher. This thing is sweet. Other dinosaurs, you have Haste. You get to make 0/1 green dinosaur eggs, and then, at the beginning of combat, you can sacrifice the eggs and turn it into a 3/3 dinosaur creature token. Great card. Really hard to deal with from a lot of people. No one wants to see this on the other side of the battlefield. But the one time this didn't really work, and they had something for it, was they turned it turned it into like Bit by a Piranha or something card, where it becomes a 1/1 with no abilities, and so I was left with eggs not hatching, and that sucked really bad. But they had what they had. But this was my pack 1 pick 1 and did well. All right, let's check out the set boosters. No more set boosters ever again. Well, maybe not never. Maybe one of the days they'll return to the set booster. I doubt it. But here we go. Midnight Hunt. I love the stuff. I love the artwork and things for Midnight Hunt. There's a forest full art. Yeah, a lot of people didn't like the Midnight Hunt Crimson Vow sets, but I liked them just fine. I really did. We got a rare here, Visions of Ruin. I don't remember what this is even. Each opponent sacrifices an artifact. For each artifact sacrificed this way, you create a treasure token. Okay. And then you can flashback it for 8 and 2 red. And the spell costs X less to cast this way, or X is greatest mana value of a commander you own, battlefield, or in the command zone. So definitely a commander card. Oh, this is a commander card. Memory Deluge. This is, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast a spell. Put 2 of them in your hand, the rest on the bottom of the library in random order. Okay, and you can flash it back. And the Immolation, the Wolf token. Okay, so that was our first pack. Nothing crazy. I guess I got a commander card and a regular rare. Let's see what comes out of this one. Looks like we got this guy. Forgot who it is. Who is that? Ludovic, Necrogenius. Okay, Ludovic. We got a mountain thing. And let's see what we have here. Uncommon and Tolavar's Huntmaster. When Tolavar's Huntmaster enters the battlefield, create 2/2/2 green wolf creature tokens, and he is daybound. Turns into a 7/7 on the back. And then we got the Celestius Sanctifier. That's the foil, along with just one of these doodads. So there we have it. Cool stuff. Fun time playing Ixalan. Ixalan season is over, and we're gonna move on to something else, something new, and I'm excited for it. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys had fun during Ixalan limited season. Moving on, and I'll see you next time.